Not purple rain, not chocolate rain, but black rain. Hey everyone, and welcome to Prince of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to a 1989 movie called Black Rain. I don't know. So, listen, I don't know who donated for this. This is one of those people who has donated before, but I don't know who they are. They've never stepped up, never said anything, which is really interesting. Like, it's like, do I have lurkers on my channel? People who never comment, people who never say anything, never introduce themselves, don't have any presence on on the Discord server, but watch stuff and even request stuff. Um, Apparently so, because I have like some anonymous donations from people on PayPal I don't know, I don't recognize names of through the through what's given to me on there. And no one ever steps up and says it. This is another one of those cases. But this one actually has a caveat. The person who sent this actually had a message with it. It was very brief. It was like one sentence, one line. But still. And that's unusual because when these anonymous donations are sent in with a request, it's usually been nothing. It's like, oh, it'll like say the name of the movie or whatnot for me to react to, and that's it. And it's like, okay. But this time it actually had a little note added to that. It said, Black Rain 1989, I think you'll get a kick out of this. And that interested me. What does that mean? Because it didn't say, I think you'll like this. It said, I think you'll get a kick out of this. That could mean anything. That could mean that it's going to be something that is so bad it's good. That could mean that it's something that is going to like appeal to something I have said, or something I've said I enjoy or whatnot in the past. It could mean a lot of things, and I have no clue what the donator is going for. Because like I said, I have no fucking clue who sent this. I'm not going to obviously share their name or email or whatever on the PayPal, because I'm not going to dox someone like that. Um, but like I always say, if you want to come forward and say something in the comments, if you want to mention that you were the one who donated for this, that's up to you. Feel free. I'm not going to dox you. If you wish to just remain anonymous, then fair enough. I have no ill will towards that. I don't mind at all. I'm giving you the opportunity if you do want to say something. So, yeah, apparently this is going to be interesting to me, I guess. I don't know how. I don't know what this movie is. I don't think I've ever heard of it. Black Rain doesn't really tell me too much, though. The phrase Black Rain makes me think of soot. Although that would more make me think of black snow, because soot falling like from like volcanic eruptions and stuff, or big explosions and war and all. I've heard it like compared to snow in terms of how it falls. But Black Rain? I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. I can't think of any other way that would like anything else that could connect to, besides like some kind of volcanic eruption or explosion or war or something. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a war movie. It's possible. I mean, it's absolutely possible. You wouldn't necessarily think a movie called Grave of the Fireflies is a war movie, but look at that one. If you can handle looking at that one. Jesus, that movie is depressing as fuck. Uh, but Yeah, I don't know what to expect. I don't know who's in this. I don't know anything about the plot. I just know it's from 1989. It's called Black Rain, and apparently I'm gonna get a kick out of it for whatever the fuck that means. So let's just get into this and see what we've got in store. And just before we get started, sorry if the lighting gets weird and everything. I closed the curtains, so I tried to get it like as best as it can. It would be a lot worse if I didn't close those right now. But if the lighting gets a little weird lately, it's just the time of the year and everything. The sun is setting a lot sooner, and so comes right into the window, and yeah. But yeah, let's get into this and see what this movie is. Cutting in here real quick to remind you of all the awesome content we have on the channel. Between Monday and Friday, we have a plethora of awesome series reactions with 2 on Wednesday. We also have movie reactions every Saturday and Sunday. I do pre-record them during the week, but upload them on the weekend. And don't forget about the gaming stuff on the Princess of Gaming channel. We have Baldur's Gate 3 every single day, Horizon Forbidden West every Monday and Friday. Tuesdays and Thursdays is Life is Strange Double Exposure. Wednesdays and Sundays is Beyond Two Souls. And Saturdays we have Near Automata. Don't forget to click the link in the description to get to today's video. I do redirect everything just due to copyright reasons. And please, subscribe to the channel and like this video if you want to see more awesome content such as this. But thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. Let's get to today's reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So first off, sorry for the little cut, like, I don't know, 6 minutes from the end. My mother made a surprise stop over here, and I just wasn't expecting it, so it sucks that it was just that close to the end, though. Second, I looked up. I tried to find where Luis Guzman and Stephen Root are. Stephen Root, near at very beginning, was one of the internal affairs officers that was interviewing Nick and everything. There were the two guys. There was the guy with the mustache, and then there was the other guy. He was the other guy. I didn't recognize him because he's so young there, and it's like his voice sounded different and everything. I just didn't recognize him. But then you had Luis Guzman, who was even earlier than that at the very, very beginning, you know, where he goes to the people to have the bike race and everything, the motorcycle race. Luis Guzman was there, and I just somehow completely missed him. I think I might have been, like, checking my phone at that time. Like, because the opening credits were going where it's like he's just, like, you know, riding along and the credits are popping up on the screen. And this is, like, right before the race. He comes in with these guys, and Luis Guzman is the one, like, right there. He has, like, a cap on. It just didn't click with me. So it's like, I went back and looked, and it's like, oh, yeah, that's very obviously him. They were bit roles for both of those two, but I didn't realize. So, I get what... I get what Momo Ayase sees in Ken Takakura. I don't know how the fuck I messed that name up. Technically multiple times in a row there, but okay. I see what she sees in Ken-san. He has a presence to him, as I was saying in the reaction. Where it's like, even like the very first moment he arrives, like the first time you see him, he's slurping noodles. He's chowing down on some noodles and everything. And then you start to see kind of his by the books, hard boiled persona come out and stuff. And you see like kind of the cool factor. But as the movie goes along, you also start to see kind of a fun side to him at points, like when he's doing the karaoke with Charlie. You get to see different views of him, but he definitely still kind of radiates that just effortless, cool energy. I compared him to Liam Neeson. There's other actors you could find to compare him to as well who just have that vibe to them. And it's like, I get it. Like, I mean genuinely, I do get it. Why he was chosen for Dan for the manga, for the anime, um, by the creator for Momo to simp after, basically. Um, Not only is he just like, this big legendary Japanese actor, but you can see it. Like, even in this, which is an American film and everything, you can still see it. You still understand the idea of like why she would like him so much. Um, I don't know how this compares to like his other roles or like specifically the stuff he's most known for, or whatnot. Maybe I'll check out some more Ken Takakura films in the future. But just from this alone, I think he did a great job. And I think he and Michael Douglas worked great off each other. They had excellent chemistry on screen. And both of them really made each other pop in a way that, like, you don't see too often, I feel. Like, I compared it to Rush Hour with Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan. And obviously, like I said when I made the comparison, this is a much more serious film. But at the same time, it's like there is some humor there, and you do get to see the same kind of like connection that these characters have. How they start off not really fans of each other, but become best friends by the end. And obviously, like the exact specifics of how the characters play off each other is very different, but the vibes are still there. And like I grew up liking Rush Hour, so this, I mean, as a compliment, by the way, um, if that wasn't already clear. Even though I admit a lot of stuff in the Rush Hour movies has very much not aged well. Um, uh, very much. But yeah, it's like this was really interesting in a lot of that. And I'm actually curious. I wonder how accurate this movie was to a lot of things, to how like police work works in Japan, the yakuza and everything. I do know like the gun law thing, like that's real. That very much is something I know about. But I'm actually wondering if I can find this on the Wikipedia page. I still have it up. Give me a second here. Production. Um. Oh, apparently Jackie Chan was going to be in this as Sato. Interestingly enough, he turned it down because he felt like audiences didn't want to see him play a villainous character. Harrison Ford and Kurt Russell were considered for the role of Nick before Douglas was cast. Oh, really? Yusaku Matsuda, who played Sato, actually passed away from bladder cancer shortly before the film was completed. Well, that's sad. Oh, they actually did film in Japan? That's interesting. Apparently, Ridley Scott declared he will never film in that country again because of a high cost and red tape. And because of the firearms laws, they also had difficulty using even prop firearms and were prohibited from firing blank ammunition. Ridley Scott was actually forced to leave the country and had to complete the final climactic scene in Napa Valley, California. So yeah, there seemed to be some issues with filming things because yeah, they had to. That caused issues as well with having to leave with Japanese actors and all. Wow. But yeah, some of the locations that we see in there, like Osaka, were like that was actually Osaka. The Ebisubashi Bridge, like so many great things, like were actually there. That's really cool. Da, 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 da. Let me see the reception on this, because I'm kind of curious. So it seems like it's kind of mixed. Kind of getting like 2 out of 4s and everything. And people saying like it's not like terrible, but it's not great either. Apparently on Rotten Tomatoes, as always, take it with a grain of salt, it has a 54% rating based on 24 reviews, saying that Black Rain has its fair share of Ridley Scott's directorial flair, but its paint-by-numbers story never rises above genre conventions. In retrospect, Michael Douglas himself said it was hard to know who to root for. And people here were uncomfortable with race stuff and talking about the bomb. There was a critic who will remain nameless who called it a racist film. I called him up and asked, have you ever been to Japan? He said no, and I said, then what the hell are you talking about? The Japanese loved it. I loved it. I thought it rocked from top to bottom. And apparently in 2021, so very recently, Ridley Scott himself called the film fucking great. Which I love just that's how he described it. And it was actually nominated for some awards. Best Sound, Best Foreign Film for the Golden Horse Awards. Outstanding Foreign Language Film was nominated. And Best Foreign Film actually won, interestingly. But yeah, so I really like this movie. I can't say like I can't like specify on a lot of stuff related to the like race stuff or how well things were portrayed because I'm a white American. I can't say. I've never been to Japan. I haven't seen it. I can't say. I can only speak on my experience watching this movie. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very entertaining. I thought it was well made. And yeah, was some things cliche? Were some things by the numbers in terms of the story and the events and whatnot? Yeah. But a lot of people often will like use the word cliche and use a movie having cliches or being cliche as inherently negative. And it's one thing I've just never understood. And I've talked about this before in many different times and places, but cliche is not inherently bad. It depends on how the cliches, the tropes, are used. It's about execution. And I think the execution here was good. The idea of like not knowing who you're supposed to root for and all, like I think that's like part of what makes the film good. Because it's like the heroes in this aren't perfect and they're actively shown and said in the film to not be perfect, to have these issues. It's actually a very big point of the film. And especially of Nick's character. But you see his growth throughout it. You see how he changes and how he becomes better. And I think that it works. And yeah, the story may not be like super exciting or new or fresh. It may like be a bit cliche, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. If it works, it works. It doesn't always have to be fresh and new. Everybody's always like always begging for movies to be fresh, to be new, to be exciting, to be something they haven't seen before. It's like you're not going to get it. It always confuses me because nothing is original anymore. You're not going to find that. Even the most original of films are still like taken from other things. Their plots, their ideas, their concepts, everything. Like when the 2019 Joker movie came out, I heard a lot of people praising that it's like an original take on the Joker. It's like it's the king of comedy. Like this isn't even a secret. Like I've never even seen The King of Comedy, and I know it's The King of Comedy. It's a take on that film. It's a they basically remade The King of Comedy with DC characters, ideas, locations, etc. It's like nothing is original anymore, and it's not going to be. You're not going to find a movie, a show, a game, a book, anything that's original because there's only so much to take from, and there's only so much that can be done. Nothing is original, nothing's going to be original. So it comes down to, does the movie work on its own merits? Is the movie well executed? Are the tropes, the cliches, the ideas that it uses handled in a way that makes it entertaining to watch and possibly rewatch? And I would say yes, I would rewatch this. I would absolutely rewatch this. I think this is a good movie. It's not like the best movie or anything. I don't know, like 7 out of 10. But 7 out of 10 is good. 7 doesn't mean mid. 7 doesn't mean even meh. It doesn't mean it's okay. It means good. 7 is good. Maybe even upwards of a 7.5. I don't know. I just watched it. I have recency bias. It's hard to exactly think about it um, right off the bat. I would have to take some time. But the point is, it's good. It's not the best movie. I've seen a lot better. Even in terms of this kind of, like, cop action movie. But I think all the actors did a great job. The sets were good, and especially since they used real locations for filming. I thought the direction was good. I thought the plot was good. The action was fun. It's like I had a great time. And, I mean, some people might say I'm pretty easy to please. But I would argue that. I would argue against that in a lot of cases. Cuz it's like, yeah, I'm not as critical necessarily as other people, but it's not so much about being easy to please. It's not so much about being, less judgy or anything. It's just when I watch movies, I'm not watching it with a critic's eye. And honestly, I don't think anyone should. When I'm watching a movie, I'm watching it for the movie, to just enjoy as a film. I'm not watching it to study it, to analyze it, to figure out everything about it. Because I've said it before, I'll say it again. When you're watching a movie with a critical eye, you're not watching the movie. You're overanalyzing the movie. You're not just enjoying the film for what it is. It's it's something that I just don't understand. And I understand like why there's critics and why critics like look into movies like this and everything. But it's like I don't take their word as gospel because I feel like the word of an average person tends to hold more weight in terms of how the movie actually is. And it's not always the case, it's a case by case basis. Every movie is different, every person watching is different. But I trust like regular people's reviews much more than critic reviews. Especially with older movies like this. Modern movies, it's a lot more tricky because a lot of regular people base their reviews entirely on critics. They don't come up with their own thoughts. They form every opinion they have based on what critics said before they've even seen the movie. So it's like, It's more complicated nowadays, but most moviegoers are still just like, ordinary people and aren't going to overanalyze shit for the sake of overanalyzing it. And I mean, obviously, always form your own opinion. Whenever you're watching any movie or show, playing any game, etc., form your own opinion. Never let others tell you what to think about anything. Your opinion should be based on your own views. If you don't like a movie or show, fine. As long as it's based solely on you not liking it and not what someone else tells you what you should or shouldn't like. If you don't like this movie, that's perfectly fine. If you love this movie, that's fine. It's your opinion, and you're entitled to that. And your opinion cannot be wrong, no matter what it is. Doesn't matter if it's different from the majority of people or not. It's still entirely valid and accurate because it's subjective. I really enjoyed this though. I like the setups that it had. I like how, like, even with the motorcycle race at the beginning, it set up how the climax was going to go. I like how, again, Nick's progression as a character fully made you understand the choices he would make at the end of the film. Same with Masa. All of these characters. And it even surprised me at points. I didn't expect Charlie to die. That one caught me very off guard, if I'm being completely honest. And especially the way he was killed, having his head sliced off. Like, that was surprisingly shocking. It was a very intense, very wild film. That was also funny at times, that was charming at times, and that just held my attention. I mean, outside of, having to cut it because of the unexpected interruption, but that's not my fault or the movie's fault. But yeah, I don't know who requested this. Again, it was anonymous. Like I said, if you wish, and only if you wish to, let yourself be known in the comments, please feel free. I would love to know who you are, and if you're willing and all. I'm not going to out you or anything, so no worries there if you wish to remain anonymous. And if you wish to continue donating every now and again, do so. I mean, you're not, like, necessarily donating a huge amount, but that's fine. And I won't say the amount either, because that's not really anybody's business. But yeah, it's like, if you want to reveal yourself, that's up to you. Go for it. But if not, I'll just sit here and enjoy the recommendations you give me when you do. So thank you, anonymous donator, for this this request. I really enjoyed this film, and yeah, definitely understand why you would want me to react to this. Was not expecting to see a Ken Takakura film today. But I'm glad to have done so. I think he's a really good actor. I can definitely see it. And I would love to see more of his films in the future. I don't know what those films are, whether any other films he's done in terms of American-made films or any of his classic Japanese films. I'd be willing to check them out. So if you or anyone else wants to donate for those down the line, please feel free. But yeah. So tell me in the comments below, what did you think of this film? What did you think of Michael Douglas's performance, Ken Takakura's performance? What did you think of just the exciting action, the fun, the tropes? Let me know your thoughts. Even if you disagree with my views on it, please let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you think. In the meantime, though, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.